Hola, hola, yo soy Jeffrey Bissoy de Vida y Deportes, and I'm so excited to have with me the amazing Gonzalez Vazquez from Latino Lead. So I just kind of want to lead us in. You guys just threw your LíderCon just a short week ago, a week and a half ago now.
That's right.
We can breathe, take it all in. You and the team did what you had to do. My first question for you is, how does it feel to have put that on? Just what are the few words that come to you right now when you look at when you think about the conference?
I think I would describe it as a feat of accomplishments because it took not just a core team to put all the different pieces together, but we were also very reliant on sponsors and our volunteers and other dedicated community members. Because when we think about it, this conference wasn't supposed to happen. Whenever other corporate partners were rolling out of their DEI recommendations from their board and removing their sponsorships from other places that were culturally centered, we were worried about the livelihood of the conference and whether it was even going to happen. I think I still get emotional thinking about how lucky we were to have Metro State University as our host partner and how we were able to put this on at the end of the day. So I think I'm very happy, I'm very relieved, and I'm really excited that we were able to continue the conference, and also curious, like, what's going to happen next year.
Absolutely. And then we're going to get into that. If you can share a little teaser just a little bit, but I love that you are, able and willing to share some of the challenges, because we have to acknowledge the backdrop of all of this politically and the way that the Latino community, even here in the Twin Cities, has been targeted with ICE raids, with immigration. We have a lot of Latinos that are terrified to leave their homes because they don't know what's going to happen. Right, so when you take that into account and you're building LíderCon and you're thinking about speakers from all across the different industries and the different panel conversations happening, the breakout rooms, you're bringing community partners. We were very thankful to be community partners. How did you and the team, and obviously the excellent leadership of Irma, how did all of you guys come together to just be like, we have to get this out now, even with everything against us? We need this in this moment now more than ever. What were those conversations like?
I think we were really using the fact that it was Hispanic Heritage Month to ride that momentum and garner as much community support as possible. We wanted to hear from community, hey, is this still something that you're interested in attending? Is this still something that you find as productive for our community right now? What are the different things that we can offer through our Oportunidad Expo, through our breakout sessions, through our speakers? What are the messages that you want to hear? What are the tools that you want to gather? And ultimately, what is a community that you want to create now and moving forward? And how can we use the conference as a platform to make that happen? I think some of the conversations also included how many different walks of life can we include on stage, and how can we relay those messages to, I guess, foster more feelings of inclusivity for our Latino community, because as we all know, it's not a monolith, and we wanted to make sure that different voices and different backgrounds were represented, and I hope you got to feel some of that too.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I think when I walked in, we sat down, we talked about the entire event. It's a 2-day event for folks who weren't able to attend. But the day that I did arrive, I had to show up a little bit late because of the fellowship, but I still showed up. I had to do my part. I was just struck by the diversity of it all. You have your professionals, let's say 30 plus, you have your elders represented as well. You have folks in the nonprofit world, the corporate world, the media world.
Yes.
So it's really all the industries. But I think I was really in awe by how many youth and younger students, whether that is late high school, I'm sure there was a few. I saw a few young faces, un poco plebe, I don't know. I saw a few early 20s of folks that probably go to schools around the Twin Cities, or maybe they even drove from places like St. Ben's or St. Joseph's. But I really enjoyed seeing that diversity there, because that's what we're doing this for, is it not? Like, building for community means building for all these pieces of folks that make up Latinidad here in the Twin Cities.
That's a great point, Jeff. Before my arrival to Latino Lead, some staff members conducted a statewide listening tour throughout Minnesota shortly after the pandemic. And we found the Latino community still actually suffers through severe feelings of alienation and isolation emerging out of the pandemic. And when we were thinking about the theme for the conference, Raíces y Futuro, we were thinking about, okay, 5 years out, 5 years after the pandemic, 5 years of the conference, how can we continue to address that? And so we figured that the conference could also serve as another merging grounds for our emerging leaders and our legacy leaders. Like you mentioned, we had college students, we had some retired professionals in the audience, and they were engaging in fruitful conversations that made me very proud of the space that we were creating all together, that you were a part of too.
No, absolutely. Vida y Deportes was, again, very proud sponsor to be there, especially because both of our organizations are at the intersection of trying to build community, especially for the Latino community here. I was just struck, I think, the day when we were, looking through the rundown, and we had folks from NASA coming in. We had the CEO of Minnesota United, who I had a chance to interview. We had a young founder of Drafted who flew in. She literally flew in for the conference, and she was to San Antonio, and she was telling me she's going cross country, but she flew into the Twin Cities. Mm-hmm. I think oftentimes folks have a tendency of looking at Minnesota as a flyover state.
That's true.
Or there's people that are like, no hay Latinos ahí, entonces no es muy importante. And that's not true. Our population is over 300,000 now and constantly growing. But what does it look like to be able to bring such big names from across the country to come here and be able to speak to our community?
Latino Lead is very proud to host keynote speakers whose very first time being in Minnesota was at the conference. I think that's something that we're really proud of, because they also get to experience the Latino community in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that the conference also serves as a learning experience to these keynote speakers, and have them either walk away or fly away from Minnesota feeling like the Latino community does exist in different pockets of the nation. And I think parts of the audience, I guess, get to live with some of our keynote speakers. I think it's wonderful that last year we had Sylvia Acevedo, who was the former CEO of Girl Scouts, getting to meet a lot of other women in STEM that wanted to follow in her footsteps. This year, having Elio Morillo who is an avionics specialist. I'm probably butchering that for Elio, and I apologize, Elio. And he works with Blue Origin now.
Blue Origin,
but yes, he was part of NASA, Boeing, all these wonderful spaces. No pun intended. But I think it's still mind-blowing to me becoming a professional in Minnesota, having come from Texas, being born in Mexico, then becoming a student in Texas, and then coming to Minnesota, I think is also part of the story of the conference. It's like we all have our different Latinidad backgrounds and our different stories, and so do the keynote speakers.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's another point of connection that happens at the conference.
No, it is. I mean, it was great to see, as we're all introducing ourselves, and we had Venezolanos hablando, Colombians, Mexicano, claro, but it's folks from all over, right? And I think that's what's so beautiful about what you guys have been building as far as community is everyone can find themselves at home. Like, even as we're conducting the meetings were in Spanish and English, and we're just blending in a little bit of Spanglish as well. And so I really think what you guys have been building is extremely special. When you're putting on an event like this, everything's crazy. When are people getting here? Oh, ¿quién no llegó eso? Okay, yo tengo que salir. I gotta go grab this thing. Or like, where are they? They said they're gonna be here at 2. It's almost 2 and I don't see them. So when you're in the eye of the storm, everything is crazy. Mm-hmm. But there are also strange moments, the days of calmness. And in those moments of calm, when you observed everything that was going on, What are kind of like 2, 3 takeaways that kind of like stuck with you from the things that you observed in those moments of calm?
I think despite our very early mornings, I would be seated at the front of the audience because I had the clicker in hand. I had to make sure that our MC felt comfortable with the slide that was up there and making sure that the audience was also getting the story of the conference. And in those moments, I would look back at the audience and be like, are they even looking? Are they paying attention? Does the slide even matter to them? Is the MC being loud enough? But then I would also just like kind of shut off those thoughts whenever I would see how wide-eyed the audience was and that they were listening, they were tuning in, they were paying attention, and they wanted to be there. Maybe with crust still in their eyes after having woken up so early, but I'm glad we also offered cafecito.
Claro.
And how excited they were to be there to just absorb everything that was on stage. And from each other too, eventually in the breakout session and the networking opportunities and during the lunch hours. But I think overhearing some of their conversations as well and kind of what they were taking away from the conference were those moments of like, wow, this is the impact that I was looking for. This is the impact that we, as a team, the whole Latino Lead team and volunteers had been working toward. And it came into fruition. And I just, words cannot express how grateful I am to have been able to be a part of that.
Yeah, and for folks who were not there and just, to tout your stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all did that. How many folks attended? How many speakers, panelists, etc. did you guys have?
We were about 300 strong at the conference, and that was in total. And we had, gosh, you're making me do math now.
I mean, it could be a ballpark.
But we had 8 to 10 breakout session speakers.
Yeah.
And then we had, let's see, I want to say, I think 8 to 10 also keynote speakers.
Wow.
Because this is the first year that we had this many panels and fireside chats because we wanted to bring, like I mentioned, as many people on stage as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we were able to make it happen. And so for volunteers, I've lost count because we've had so many. It had to have been at least 50 volunteers.
Wow. Shout out to the volunteers.
Yes, and shout out to Reina too, our operations and events coordinator who orchestrated everything and made sure that everything was running smoothly in the background and making sure that because this conference happened in 3 different buildings.
Wow.
All on the same campus, and having to coordinate all of that took some mastermind coordination that Reina was spearheading and we were all a part of. I was kind of hunkered down in the auditorium and making sure that anything in the auditorium happened well. But I mean, yeah, it was a true feat of accomplishments.
No, you guys did truthfully an incredible job. I don't want to stress you out too much. It's only been about a week and a half. Pero when you look ahead to next year, you guys have been doing this now for a few years. What are things that you weren't able to try this time around that you might want to add? What are things that worked this time that you're like, you definitely want to keep this? For what you can share. You always want some surprises, but what can you share with us for what's coming up next year?
I think, and I want to be very strategic about how I say this.
Ustedes ven.
But I think the awards ceremony or Impact Awards ceremony, I think folks can continue to expect that. I think highlighting members of our community is very, very important, especially because if we don't do it, who else is? I think another thing that folks can look forward to for next year's conference is we're reading those survey responses. We're making sure that we listen to everybody at home, filling out what they thought of the conference this year and what they would like to see these following years, not just in 2026. We did that same equation last year. We took the survey responses from last year and really put them into fruition this year. And we hope to continue that pattern. I know I saw some really great names in some of the current survey responses. I know
they said they want Bad Bunny. Is that what I heard?
They said they want Bad Bunny. They said they want AOC. They said they also want some right of center speakers because they wanted to see diversity of thought.
Yeah.
The Latina community is not a monolith.
It's not.
And being a nonpartisan organization, that's something that Latino Lead has to respect, while also still staying in line with our mission statement, and expressing all of our values, leadership, equity, achievement, and development, as I hope our CEO knows that we're trying to carry that forward with all of the conferences and all of our events and programs moving forward. But I think respecting all the different things that our community brings forward is something that, we continue to appreciate and enacting.
No, absolutely. I mean, you guys are pioneering. You guys are going to keep doing your thing. I guess my final big thing for you is, how can folks at home who have not connected with Latino Lead, they're sad they missed out, es que estaban afuera, o que el dinero no llegó cuando tenía que llegar, things happen.
Mm-hmm.
But for people that want to show up for Latino Lead events, or that they want to, collaborate with you and build with you and help you grow on your mission and vision statement, how can they do that? What's the best way to get involved with Latino Lead?
Thank you for asking, Jeff. Honestly, our Latino Lead Instagram account, our LinkedIn account, and our Facebook accounts, we try to make it a pattern of putting all of our events on our Facebook page that is linked to the registration tickets. We are very mindful about how we collect the data of our participants, so I want to make sure everybody at home knows that your data is safe and that we're not sharing it out. Especially for family and cultural events, and also signing up for our newsletter. We have a lot of opportunities there. We post employment opportunities there as well. We have an event center on there as well. So really online is the best way to get your foot in the door and then coming to join us for an in-person event. I mean, or both can happen at the same time. Maybe you join us for an event first, and then see us online. But yeah, everybody's welcome. And it's a good time.
Absolutely. Well, Melissa, thank you so much. Congratulations to you and the team. And looking forward to the upcoming events.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias a ti.